was a Thursday evening. I had just gotten off work, but there was still work to be done. My mission? Retrieve my son's fish from our old house and bring him to our new house in one piece. A simple job for a man of my intelligence and skill level. Or it should have been. But it's me. This is Life of Steve. I hit the road with a clear objective in mind. Get the fish. Jimmy. Jimmy is my son's Betta Fish that found his way into our home by sheer dumb luck and absolute tragedy. You see, before Jimmy, there was, Jimmy. Let me back up. The first Jimmy was a cricket I found in our house and caught in a jar for my son to look at. My son decided the cricket was his new best friend and pet, and asked what we should name him. In my classic original style, I suggested Jiminy. Eat your heart out, Disney. My son, not able to pronounce Jiminy, said, "Yeah, Jimmy." So, Jimmy the Cricket was now a member of our family. Well, my son took Jimmy along for the ride to school one morning. His mom forgot Jimmy was there and rushed into work, leaving Jimmy and his little jar in the car for 8 hours. Needless to say, Jimmy died. He died a very hot, slow and painful death. I got a call around 4:00 p.m. from my son. He was crying hysterically. He said, "Dad, I've got some bad news. Jimmy's dead." Jimmy's dead. This in turn led his mom to do two things. One, teach my son about life and death, heaven and hell, and existence as we know it. And two, go to the pet store and spend $180 on a little aquarium with all the bells and whistles and an $8 fish. What a day for my little boy. And what a day for Jimmy, the cricket. When they got home, I learned of the fish and the talk. And all I could do was smile and wave. I asked what the fish's name was. "Jimmy," said my son with a grin. Well, why the hell not, right? His first Jimmy had barely had the name for 12 hours. We needed to put some miles on it. It was a good name. But this Jimmy's a trooper. He's been with us for about 3 months. 90 days. He's past his probation period. Though, his survivability may be partly due to the fact my son can't take him to school. So that's Jimmy's story. And after all that, I needed to get him home safe. Alright, enough rambling. I'm coming, Jimmy. I finally got to town and decided to stop off at the local taco shop. I can't be expected to do all this on an empty stomach, right? I took my food to the house and rushed inside. Forget about Jimmy. I need to eat these tacos. I mean, look at these things. Little lime. I'm in heaven. Sadly, I forgot about my hot sauce until the last bite, but life goes on. Unless you're Jimmy the Cricket. Sorry, Jimmy. Wasting no more time, I got started with Jimmy's tank. To prevent spilling water all over the place, I transferred most of the water into a bucket and left enough for Jimmy to remain comfortable. I carried him to my truck and did the one thing I could think to do to secure him. Safety first, right? With Jimmy secure, I finished up at the house, grabbed the mail, took the trash to the curb, and grabbed Jimmy's food. It was at this point I realized I had gotten salsa on my favorite shirt. Dang. Oh well, no time for tears now. I jumped in my truck and put the pedal to the metal. Not really. I actually drove very slowly, trying not to shake Jimmy's water around too much. It seemed like no matter how slow or steady I was driving, Jimmy's water was sloshing like the angry sea. Poor guy. It was at this time I realized I should have taken all of his decor out to prevent it from falling onto him, but it was too late for that now. We were in this together, man and fish on a journey home, and come whatever may, we were gonna make it. As we exited the freeway, I turned to Jimmy. "We're home free, buddy. The final stretch." After a half-an-hour drive that felt like hours, we finally made it. We were home. I was in one piece, but how was Jimmy? I rushed to unbuckle him and see how he was doing. He was alive. Probably a little shaken up, but otherwise okay. I took him inside and filled his tank back up to the ideal level with similar temperature water so as not to shock him any more than he already had been. I congratulated him on a job well done and left him to stretch his fins in his new home. I threw my shirt in the washer and felt that after all that it was time for a reward in the form of a nice healthy snack. I checked back in on Jimmy a little while later and, oh no! Jimmy! Oh, he's fine. I kept an eye on him for the remainder of the night and checked back in on him the following morning. He was up and about, doing great, like an absolute champion. The mission was a success, and our family was complete once again. The journey home was far more treacherous for Jimmy than it was for me, but he's still here. Maybe we could all learn a little something from Jimmy. When the water gets rough, and boy does it get rough, stay strong, have faith, and keep pushing. The storm will pass and you'll find calm waters again. Regardless of who or what we are, man or fish, big or small, we persevere. We keep on keeping on. And even when we think we've got no fight left in us, we push ourselves even further. That's how we win. That's how we live. Or maybe he's just a fish and I'm reading way too far into this. Either way, I'm glad he's home. Until next time, thanks for watching. Life of Steve.